So one of the most common questions that I get on like specific body parts is how I've built up my shoulders. So calisthenics, bodyweight exercises, they're amazing at giving you like a well-rounded physique, but there is a muscle that I've had a really hard time targeting when I do calisthenics, and it is the side delt. Okay, so I'm not gonna pretend like I'm an anatomy expert, but there's three main muscles in the shoulders that we try and work. There's the front delt, which is generally that muscle there. There's the side delt, the mid delt as they often call it, which is that muscle there, and then there's the rear delt. So our front delt is generally the one that is overworked. We work that muscle so often whenever we're doing any pressing movements. So if you're doing like push-ups like I was just doing, that'll work the front delt. If you're doing dips, that will also target the front delt. Really any pushing movements, if you do bench press, if you do the incline press, even the overhead press or handstand press. So the point being, we don't really have to focus too much on the front delt. Most people have overdeveloped front delt, and it also actually contributes to our like bad posture, the closed in shoulders, and we really want to open that up. So we want to focus on working the both rear delt there and the side delt. So the rear delt is going to really help with our posture and bring our shoulders back and make our shoulders nice and strong. The side delt is what's going to give us that 3D look, which is going to give us those delts that pop out, that show when you're standing in front, that give you that nice V-taper. When I started working out, I was all about getting that V-taper. I really wanted the wide back, the wide lats, big upper body, and then that skinny tapered waist. And you can definitely do it by increasing the size of your lats, but what helps even more is by increasing the width of your shoulders, and you really have to focus on that outer mid delt in order to get that look. So as much as I love calisthenics, this is definitely one muscle group that I target using like weights. And I'm gonna show you this amazing circuit that my friend Nimai Delgado showed me when I was working out with him in London about a year back, and it is so amazing. So the four movements that we're gonna be doing today to target all the heads of the delt are: number one, the lateral raise. This is the most important one. This is the one that targets that medial delt. And then we also are gonna do some front raises. We're also gonna be doing some bent over raises. I think that's what these are called. And then we're also gonna be doing overhead press. So we're gonna do 8 of each of those. So 8 times 4, you're gonna be doing 32 reps in total. It is killer. That's why you wanna start with some fairly light weights. So what I suggest is doing the one that is most difficult first for you, and then finishing on the easiest. So for me, the most difficult would definitely be the lateral raises, and then the front raise, and then bent over, and then I'm gonna do the overhead press last because that's the easiest. So you guys can do it with me if you want. Let's do it. So a few cues that I want you to think about when you're doing the lateral raises, because that is the movement that I want to highlight the most in this video, because that really is what's been so helpful for me to get sort of those, 3D delts, the boulder shoulders. I'm definitely not there yet, but I'm trying to build them up all the time. So Nimai actually told me this, and so rather than trying to just pull the weights up like this, you tend to get like your traps and your neck and everything involved when you do it like that. So rather than thinking about pulling the weights up, you want to think about pressing them out towards the wall. So what Nimai said was, imagine that you're standing in a doorway and you're pressing the doorway out with the back of your hands. That makes sense to you guys. Well, that's what he told me, and it helps. So we're gonna do 8 of these. And then we're gonna move straight into the front raise, 8 of those. Try not to swing. Keep your chest nice and high. And then we're gonna bend over and do these bent over sort of, what are they called? Like
Delt fly, kind of.
rear delt flies.
But flies are more with your arms straight, so kind of like the same movement, yeah.
We're gonna do some rear delt raise flies movements. You want to avoid swinging as much as you can, so if you bring the weights all the way together, it's really easy to build momentum, and you just can like fly away like a bird, and it's really easy. But you want to keep your arms out a little bit so that you don't use any momentum, and just nice, slow, and controlled movements, and think about contracting those rear delts. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 8. And then we're gonna go into overhead press. And usually this is really easy with this light of a weight, but once you're done this circuit, it's definitely not as easy. So one cue on this one I want you to think about is don't let your arms droop too much like this. You want to keep them about parallel to the ground and then press up from there. 2, 3. And that's it. That's 8 by 4. That's 32. Wow. So yeah, definitely feel like my whole shoulder of fire burning from that. And if you do 4 sets of that, your shoulders will be absolutely screaming, and you'll get such a good pump on your shoulders. It's unbelievable. So I'm gonna do a few sets of that, and then after that I'll show you guys a few ways that you can do those lateral raises if you don't have access to weights, or if you just don't want to use weights. So let's get a few more sets in. Should we use the cable machine?
Use the cable machine.
All right, let's go upstairs and I'll show you another way that you can do this. The cable machine's another really good one for doing this, but if you're a real beginner, even the very lightest, even the 5 pounds on the cable machine might be too hard for you. So if it is too hard, use something lighter like a pencil. So the nice thing about using the cable machine for the lateral raises is that you take momentum out of the equation, because you get constant tension all the way from the bottom of the movement. So right now, you can actually see there's tension on that side delt already before I even move. Whereas when I'm just holding a dumbbell like that by the side, there's no tension, I'm just holding it, right? So that's kind of the nice thing about this. Do what you have to do to target that delt. So some people even find that holding it behind their body, lifting it out like this, really helps to target that. So that's totally fine if you like to do it like that. I like to do it in front of me. So remember, like with the other one, we're pushing away from us. We're not just trying to pull up. Not what you want to be doing like that. You do not want to do that. You want to be pushing away. You want to keep your shoulders down and back. I'm going to finish my workout here, and then we'll head home. I'm going to make a smoothie bowl, and then I'll show you guys how you could do this at home without using any weights. All right, so just got back from that workout, and it's time to refuel. Gotta build up these shoulders in order to get them to grow. So you guys know I'm gonna have a smoothie bowl. Some frozen banana, a couple of fresh bananas too, some frozen berries. Gotta get those greens in you, so we've got some cilantro here. But if you want, use something more mellow like spinach or kale. A couple of fresh medjool dates. Make sure you take the pits out. It's a good way to ruin a smoothie if you leave that in there. And we got some ground flax going in there, which y'all know about omega-3s. I'm gonna throw a scoop of Vivo Life protein powder in there. You guys know I'm an ambassador for Viva Life. Absolutely love this company, love the protein powder. It's definitely the best protein powder on the market, by far the best plant-based protein powder as well. So definitely try it out. Derek 10, if you guys want to use my discount code, you get 10% off. No pressure, you don't need it to make the gains, but it might help build those boulder shoulders just a little bit. Turmeric and black pepper. So just a splash of unsweetened vanilla almond milk there. You could use water or whatever you want. You just need a little bit of liquid to help it get going. That's it. That's the best freaking recovery smoothie you can possibly make. Let's blend this up. Are you kidding me? These are the most delicious gains you could possibly make. Holy crap. What do we have here? Take one of those. So like I mentioned before, building up your delts, and specifically your side delt, is gonna be one of the most impactful things that you can do to change your physique and to make yourself look sort of more muscular. But I totally understand that not everyone has access to weights or access to a gym. But the nice thing about doing these lateral raises is that it doesn't require a lot of weight, and our hands are like a really, really versatile tool for holding things. So this is like a really, really easy movement to duplicate with things that are around your house. So let me show you. If you have like a reusable bag like this one, and you have a whole bunch of bananas. So you got a bunch of bananas in there, and then just lift it out. But then you say to yourself, Derek, I don't have that many bananas around my house. Well, you can put anything in here. And if you're like us and you buy like massive things of apple cider vinegar like this, the industrial size, or any container full of liquid, you could use that. It's a perfect weight. And then I actually saw Leo Venus doing this, and this is what gave me the idea that you could use just about anything. He was using, I think he was using an ottoman, but this is like a stool, and it works just fine as well. So I hope that's helped you guys develop your delts a little bit. Like, that lateral raise is really like one of the missing movements that's in calisthenics. It's just so hard to target that outer side delt with bodyweight movements. So I always do this. Just about every single push day I do some sort of lateral raise. And I hope you guys enjoyed that circuit that I threw in there as well. Definitely let me know in the comments down below. If you have any other shoulder exercise recommendations, I'm always open to new ones, so let me know. So anyways, I hope you guys got something out of this video. Shout out to Nimai for showing me that awesome circuit. And also shout out to Nimai for having me on his podcast. He just put his podcast live with me on it this morning. So if you guys want to check it out, there'll be a link in the description box down below. It's called Generation V. It is such an unreal podcast, not just the one with me, but all of them. He is such a good conversationalist, and I think this podcast is really going to go far. You guys are going to see and hear a lot more about this Generation V podcast. So link in the description down below. Definitely go listen to my conversation with Nimai. He is such a cool dude, and it was great chatting with him. And great hanging out with you guys today, building up those delts. Let me know how it goes in the comments down below. Peace. Eat plants. Stay positive. Build your delts.